Hello, fellow history and gardening enthusiasts. Today we're diving into a secret that's been quietly hidden in plain sight for generations, a practice your great-grandparents likely knew, yet almost forgotten by modern gardeners. This isn't about flashy chemical fertilizers or expensive soil boosters. It's a simple, ancient method that transforms ordinary grass into a living powerhouse for your garden. Before we begin, if you enjoy uncovering historical wisdom and learning practical, actionable techniques, don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Nature's Flora for more time-tested, soil-transforming knowledge. Now, let's get into the heart of it. For decades, modern agriculture has taught us to rely on synthetic fertilizers and chemical inputs, promising fast results. But beneath the surface, these approaches have created what soil scientists call biological deserts. The dirt might look rich and dark, but it often lacks the microbial life that turns soil into a self-sustaining, fertile ecosystem. Plants can grow, but they're operating on life support, dependent on human intervention rather than thriving naturally. This is where the wisdom of our ancestors becomes invaluable. Long before industrial fertilizers dominated the landscape, farmers across the world understood the living nature of soil. They observed that healthy soil was more than just dirt. It was a dynamic ecosystem that needed nurturing. From the rice paddies of Asia to European homesteads, people discovered that grass, one of the most common and abundant resources, could be transformed into a potent soil enhancer through fermentation. This wasn't ordinary composting. It was a sophisticated anaerobic process that unlocked hidden nutrients and encouraged explosive microbial growth. The magic of fermented grass begins with choosing the right material. Young green clippings from actively growing grass are ideal, whether harvested from a well-maintained lawn or wild grasses. Avoid dried-out or seeding grasses, as these do not ferment effectively. Fresh, healthy clippings provide the right sugars and proteins to fuel the beneficial microorganisms that drive the process. Next, you'll need a suitable container. A food-grade bucket or, a similar vessel with a tight-fitting lid usually works best. Fill the container about 2/3 full with the grass, then add enough water to completely submerge it. The water creates an oxygen-free environment, allowing anaerobic bacteria to really flourish. At this stage, adding a microbial starter, like a handful of garden soil, a small amount of finished compost, or even some previously fermented grass liquid, introduces the beneficial bacteria and fungi that will transform the grass into a living fertilizer. Some gardeners also add a tablespoon of molasses to feed these microorganisms, which can accelerate the fermentation process, though this step is totally optional. Seal the container tightly and allow the grass to ferment for, about 2 to 4 weeks. During this period, you'll want to occasionally burp the container to release built-up gases, but otherwise, just let nature do its work. You'll know fermentation is successful when the liquid develops a slightly sour, earthy smell, not unpleasant, just different from fresh grass. This liquid is teeming with what microbiologists call a microbial consortium, which is basically a diverse community of bacteria and fungi, all working together to make nutrients more accessible to plants. The benefits of this liquid are, honestly, pretty remarkable. Anaerobic fermentation produces organic acids that solubilize locked-up nutrients in your soil, releasing phosphorus, potassium, and trace elements in forms plants can readily absorb. The microbes themselves form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, enhancing nutrient uptake, improving disease resistance, and even helping plants withstand stress during droughts. Some of these bacteria can fix atmospheric nitrogen, providing a slow, steady nutrient source directly to the root zone. The fermentation process also generates a variety of enzymes, hormones, and other bioactive compounds that stimulate overall soil and plant health. Applying fermented grass liquid is simple yet, honestly, pretty transformative. First, you'll want to strain the liquid to remove any solids, then dilute it. Use 1 part fermented liquid to 10 parts water for soil drenching, or 1 part to 20 parts water if you're doing foliar feeding. Apply the soil solution around the base of your plants, preferably in the early morning or evening when conditions are just right for microbial activity, and then lightly water afterward to help those microbes really penetrate the soil. Foliar application, on the other hand, lets beneficial microorganisms colonize the leaves, creating a natural defense against foliar diseases. And hey, don't toss out the remaining solid grass residue. It's not waste. It's actually an excellent compost activator or mulch additive. Timing your applications, well, that really enhances the effect. Monthly treatments during the growing season, with a bit heavier focus in spring and again in fall, help establish strong microbial populations and prepare your soil for the next season. If you're working with larger gardens or even small farms, you can keep a continuous supply of fermented liquid by using multiple fermentation vessels, or, just larger containers. Grass can be sourced sustainably from neighbors, landscaping services, or municipal clippings. Just make sure it's free from herbicides and pesticides, since those could harm your soil microbes. When you integrate this with sustainable practices like cover cropping, composting, and reduced tillage, grass fermentation doesn't just feed your plants, it actually rebuilds your soil's biological vitality. Gardens treated this way show stronger root systems, more vigorous growth, better stress tolerance, and a real boost in resilience against pests and diseases. It's honestly a return to working with natural cycles instead of fighting against them, and it reconnects us with the ecological wisdom our ancestors relied on. This method costs almost nothing, yet the results can, quite frankly, surpass commercial soil amendments, proving that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most profound. By embracing grass fermentation, you're preserving a lost agricultural art, enriching your soil, and contributing to a more sustainable future. So, fellow nature and history enthusiasts, go ahead and start your first batch this week and see your garden transform. And don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow gardeners, leave a comment with your experiences, and subscribe to Nature's Flora for even more ancient techniques brought to life in modern gardens. Together, we're not just growing plants, we're cultivating living soil and reconnecting with generations of ecological wisdom.